Welcome, Freedom Youth. We're so excited to have you here. Where's Pastor Alex? It's going to be a great night. We're so excited. We have so many great things coming. Games, and I need Pastor Alex right now. So many great things. We're just so excited to have you here. I'm terrible at stalling. I don't know where Alex is. I don't know where Pastor Alex. Has anybody seen Pastor Alex? Do you know where he is?
Wait.
Brandon.
Pastor Alex isn't here?
No.
So we need a host.
I would love a host. I need somebody to get us through this night.
I can do it.
I need like a host for the whole night. Like we have games, announcements, a very important announcement.
Yeah?
Like I need a...
Like a really big announcement?
Yeah.
I can do that.
All right.
You want to hear it first? You want put some faith in you. All right, here we go. So, welcome, Freedom Youth. Let me restart. I know what I need to do.
I know what I need to do.
Okay. Here it is. Welcome, Freedom Youth! Technical difficulties, guys.
Technical difficulties.
So great. All right, guys. Welcome, Freedom Youth. That was totally unplanned, but hey, it's awesome. It's great. We're still here. We still love doing what we're doing. Like Kalila said, Pastor Alex is not here. He's actually on vacation right now. Well-deserved vacation, which he's resting right now. But hey, he's on the live right now, so if you appreciate what he does for you guys, throw some praise hands up in the chat. It's awesome what he does. But the reason he's resting is because we have a very big announcement. He is resting because September 9th, Wednesday night, mark it on your calendars, we are back live in person. Oh yes, it's happening. It is happening. Can't wait. So we have Pastor Shawn tonight giving you guys an awesome lesson. Can't wait to hear from there. But before we get the night started, we have 3 guests that I would love to personally bring on stage to go ahead and help us with the night. We'll give it up for Anthony, Jack, and Micah, the interns. Oh yes. It's going to be a great night. It's going to be an awesome night.
I hope so.
Welcome, guys. Looking great, looking sharp.
Thank you very much.
Love it.
Technical difficulties.
Thank
so,
you.
guys.
Time out.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Look at your mug. Ben.
Good
job, brother. Love
Dude,
Goodness.
seriously.
That rascal.
The sad part is, this isn't even Pastor Alex. It's Steven, our productions manager.
Wait.
Okay.
Because Alex apparently took his mug, so, leaves us with very little. But hey, we're going to keep going.
It's all
You know what
good.
we're doing tonight?
Do I know?
Does anybody know what we're doing tonight?
Do we know
We
what
are.
doing? Do we know? What are we doing?
We're playing a game.
We're gonna praise Jesus. That's what we should be
Yeah,
doing.
we're going to play
but-
the game
nope,
first. We're
finish.
going to get to that. We're going
Okay.
to play the game first.
All right.
Okay.
We are playing Nailed It or Failed It. Ding, ding. Back to school.
All right, Jack, you got this, bro.
So, guys, whole purpose of the game, they're going to play a clip, and it's going to be a guy getting ready to either nail it or fail it. but you guys have to guess whether they nail it or fail it. And if you guys can, guess in the chat whether they nail or fail it, put your district, and you'll get some points for it, and Alex will tally up the points and give you guys those points for next week, all right? So first video.
Easy. It's that easy.
Oh my, it's ABC, so I'm gonna go with failed.
All right.
But yeah, continue. Sorry.
We're not social distancing, I can see.
I don't even know what's going on.
I'm actually Liz's handsome boyfriend. When Liz and I met, we hit it off instantly.
This is a very long
I
nail
don't
to
know
fail
if it was
video.
fate, destiny, or the fact that I was wearing a Braves jersey. But the thing is, not long after we met, I fell in love with her.
She looks very
Not long
concerned, so
after
I'm gonna
that,
say-
she became my best friend. Liz, you've made me happier than you could ever imagine. And at this
look
point in
so
our
cute
relationship,
together.
the only
I'm
thing
a
that
little
could
nervous
make
about
me
what's about to
happier
happen.
would be for you to say yes to us spending the rest of our lives together.
Oh,
It's
so
very
he
proposing.
proposed on the news.
Oh, the news. Bro.
And
She's crying. Look at her.
What's going on?
I think he
You
just
better cry
asked
like that
you
during
to marry
worship. That's all I got to say.
Uh-oh.
That's the tip. Sorry.
Love you.
Oh.
You make me the happiest man in
He
the
brought
world,
us
man.
on during this.
All right, guys. Do you think he nailed that or completely failed that?
I have faith. I think it's a nailed it.
You think
for
he
me.
nailed it? All right, Jack, what do you think?
Oh, I'll have to say, hopefully nailed it. 'cause
Hopefully
that'd
nailed
be
it. Right, I think we all
embarrassing.
hope he nailed it.
This will be tremendous
Micah?
cringe.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to say failed it.
All right.
Bummer. Down.
So we got 2 nailed it and 1 failed it. All right, continue with the video.
What's going on?
I think he just asked you to marry him.
What's going on?
Oh my God.
Love you. Will you make me the happiest man in the world and marry me?
Oh, she said yes.
you,
That's
Lord.
happily ever after.
I just didn't want to have the same
Aw,
answer as y'all.
so
That's why.
cute.
I was gonna say
Next.
that'd be the most.
Oh man. Okay. That's good.
Dude.
True love is the soul's recognition of its counterpoint in another. Oh. What?
Mr.
Right?
Mudman.
I think the best to explain this. Can I have Katie come up to the stage, please? Since I've met you, I've been in love
There's a
with you.
guitar.
I think you
This is
are
special.
absolutely beautiful. You're the girl of my dreams.
Is this in church?
You're my best friend.
I can't tell. It's too.
You know what? Ooh, so. Man, oh man.
This is a weird back to
Is this
school edition
church
of
or
Nailed
is
It
this
Failed
Back
It.
to
But
back.
anyways,
Yeah.
Okay, so
So what do you guys think? Nailed it or failed it?
All right, we're gonna. Micah, what do you say?
judging on the quality of the video, I'm gonna say he nailed it. Completely irrelevant, but
Jack, we need.
Based on that scream in the background, failed it.
Failed it?
ooh,
All right.
not the screen.
I think it's a failed it. I got a vibe.
Oh, you got a vibe, so you think it's failed? All right, play the video.
I'm
Let's
feeling
see
it.
what
oh man, oh
happens.
man, oh
here.
Will you
man.
marry me?
Wow. Oh my gosh. You know what?
Oh no! Cut it short. Oh no!
That
We got to pray for him later.
I heard.
Anyways,
I felt that.
Oh man.
I felt
next
that.
video.
Don't cry, Jack. It's okay.
He's proposing. Oh my God. He's
Cliche.
He's talking way too much. Something's not right.
There are too many people.
He's like,
looking at him.
oh, honey, we rehearsed this at home. You're supposed to
To
say.
say,
All
from
right.
my point of view, I would say, is it a terrible thing to say? I would say yes in person when all those people are there, and then explain it later.
Yes, that's
So I would say
that's
no.
fake. That is fake. You
Just be like,
cannot do
I don't-
that.
that's
You're being
wrong.
lukewarm. No, sir.
And that's why we're guys and we have to do the proposing. So,
That's called a lie.
Sorry, God, I want to marry this person, but I want to break their
yeah,
heart.
well, so what do we think? Nailed it or failed it?
All right,
Consensus.
Jack, what do you think?
Just by her expression, she's like, I'll pray about it, so failed it.
Pray about it.
Tough,
Micah,
tough.
what do we got?
I'm gonna say nailed it. I have a feeling she's saying
here we go,
she's
here we
gonna
go.
say yes,
Go ahead
but then
and play
say
the
no later.
video, see what we got here.
Oh no! Oh no! She ran him over on the way out. Not the hug. Oh my goodness.
Terrible.
He gave,
I hate these.
he gave him a hug at the
That's
end.
like the participation.
Okay.
Is this their first date?
Last video here. Last video.
that'd be
Go,
awkward.
go on.
Goodness
Oh, that would be
gracious.
horrible.
Oh, totally, dude. Good man. Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, dude, this is
quick announcement if I may. My beautiful girlfriend Brooke and I have been together for a while now.
4 years, baby.
For who's counting, right? It's I think it's about time I ask her a very important question. Bobby the Ring Prince.
Oh my goodness.
I think we all think failed, right? Yeah, failed.
Oh,
Okay.
It's subverting our expectations.
Play the result.
I gotta say, nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it.
He failed it.
He
failed
redeemed
that.
himself.
Play
I like.
I think it's about time I ask her a very important question. Bobby the Ring Prince.
Oh my God!
That was smooth. That was smooth. All right, guys.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty
That
cool.
was pretty cool.
But she said no.
She
so
didn't say
technically,
anything.
Didn't say
Wait a
anything, so we
second.
don't actually know what happened there, but it's okay. It's okay.
Wow.
So, moving forward, I know what you guys are really here for. You guys are here for District Wars.
Oh no. Oh man, this is intense.
I love that song. Ooh, where? Okay, there was 3 of y'all here just a second ago. Where'd Micah go?
We let him off on a bathroom break.
Bathroom break. Yeah, he does have a small
Bathroom
bladder. Anyways, moving forward. So guys, we have District Wars. We have 3 districts. Volcano District, Sea District, and Jungle District. Oh wait, I forgot about Wasteland. If I even really like a thing anymore. Anyways,
even know how to spell
last
Wasteland.
place, terrible. If you're in the chat right now and you're in Wasteland, just give a shout out. The 3 people that are there, please give me a shout out. One of them's Ben, and he's on the camera.
Type F
All right.
for respect.
In second place, drum roll, guys, we have Volcano District. Woo, yay, awesome. In first place, leading the pack, leading all districts in districting,
Oh man.
the Jungle District. Woo!
Oh my gosh.
It's awesome. All right, guys. Now that we've done some nailed it or failed it, and we've done District Wars, we're going to go ahead and move into a time of worship. Kalila's going to go ahead and come on stage and lead you guys a time of worship. Prepare your hearts for that. And then after that, we're going to go into Pastor Shawn's lesson, a very special lesson that he has set up for you guys. Can't wait. Stay tuned.
All right, Freedom Youth, we're so excited. We know y'all are at home. That doesn't give you an excuse not to worship. So I want y'all, even in your homes, we're going to do this together. Come on, we're going to worship to this song. Hey, come on. It's your heart we're searching for. Oh, we want you and nothing more. Let your glory fill this place. Oh, we're alive in your presence. It's your heart.
What's up, Freedom Youth? I hope you guys are doing great joining us online right now. I mean, what the 2020 is happening right now in our life. Can you guys believe the year that we have made? And I know that you guys are resilient. I mean, I know that you are resilient because you already understand community through your phone and through text and through FaceTime. You already knew how to get around, on the computer enough that Zoom didn't throw you any kind of loops in your life or throw you for any loops. You know how to get around. You know how to do school from a computer if you need to. You're resilient. I know you are. But it also is a fact that I don't care how old you are, whether you are 11, whether you are 15, whether you are 18, or whether you are a 40-something-year-old Freedom Youth volunteer dream team member right now joining us. The fact of the matter is after a while, this stuff gets just a little bit old, doesn't it? I mean, right now on the chat, why don't you say right now, it gets a little bit old. Just say it's getting old. It's getting old not knowing what school is going to look like. It's getting old not knowing if I can go hang out with my friends and actually tell people I'm doing it, because I know y'all are already doing it. You just can't tell people you are. It gets old knowing whether I got to wear a mask just to go to Taco Bell. Like when in the world did we have to wear a mask just to go to Taco Bell? What's going on in life when that's going on? And I know eventually it just starts to catch up. Even though you're resilient, you can begin to be worn down eventually. And I know that no matter how old you are, eventually we all feel the results of all of this piling up on us, and the results really come down to one word. And I want you to put this word in the chat just to acknowledge that you're there, just to let Pastor Alex know you're there. He's on vacation right now, getting ready to come and preach the house down to y'all soon. He's getting rested up. Just to let him know you're there, just to let me know you're there, just to let your dream team members, Freedom Youth, your family, we're family, right? Let them know you're there. I want you to put the result of all of this piling up, this residue that has been on us since March, piling up on us, is that we have fear. It's fear. It really is an emotion that I know you've been feeling, I've been feeling quite a bit of, is fear. And I want to talk to you a little bit about fear because I think it's okay to be afraid. I especially believe that it's okay to acknowledge that there is some fear and that we don't know what's coming around every single bend that's coming up to us, and just to acknowledge the effects that all of this fear can eventually have on us. I want us to dip back into the story that I actually talked about this past weekend at Freedom Church. And I hope that all of you guys are joining us at Freedom Church on the weekend, at home, and that you're joining with your family, maybe inviting your family to come in and join with you. I hope that you're a part of everything that's going on with Freedom Church. We're serving on the weekend here at Freedom Youth, getting together with your small group, just chatting with them in any way that you can while you haven't been meeting as much. I hope that you're doing that. And I hope that you were able to hear the story this weekend that we covered. And Freedom Church on the weekend was about Elijah. It's one of my favorite biblical characters, Elijah. I almost said Elisha because God went and named these two men that were so close to each other, Elijah and Elisha. And there's a Jah and there's a Shah. And the Shah, Elisha, is my favorite character in all of the Bible outside of Jesus. I love Elisha. But we've been talking just a little bit about Elijah, and I love him as well. And the story is one of my favorite stories about him that we've been looking at. And it's this whole idea when Elijah, who was a prophet for God, and has this battle with the prophets of Baal, who were the enemies of God. And so the people, under the rule of a terrible king Ahab and his wife Jezebel in the Bible, they had been worshiping Baal. They had been going to a false god, a false emotion, a false feeling, a false way of life, a false way of doing things. They had been going to that. And they've been going to Baal, and so Elijah is having this battle with the prophets of the false god Baal. And it was crazy. Like they went back and forth for a while. It's in 1 Kings chapter 18. In fact, at one point, Elijah starts talking some trash to him. He's like, hey, where's your God? He's not showing up to do what you thought that he needed to do. He's not here. Where is he? I mean, and Elijah says this. He actually says this in the Bible. He goes, I mean, maybe he's taking a nap. Or maybe, he says, he had to go and relieve himself. Maybe that's what's happening. I mean, Elijah talks smack like the guys I played basketball with in high school and college. He knows how to talk some trash. He knows how to lay it down. And he's doing that, and they're going back and forth. And they're saying, hey, whose gods are better? And the prophets of Baal, actually under the power of Satan, are able to produce these quote-unquote miracles that happen. But Elijah is always able to come back and say, no, my God is stronger. And finally, there's this episode where Elijah actually brings fire down from heaven to set fire in 1 Kings chapter 18 to this wood that he has asked the people to soak down with water. And yet the fire licks up all the water, burns up all the water. I mean, it's incredible what happens. And then Elijah says, and also there's going to be a huge rain. And now there hasn't been rain for a long time. And so there's this battle going on. And Elijah goes to Ahab and says, hey, you better go get you something to eat. You better go get rested up because you're getting ready to see the most amazing, extraordinary miracle of God that you've ever seen in your life. And he has this great faith. He's like, I've got what I need. I've got my God. And then Elijah starts looking to the clouds. He starts looking to the sky. And finally, this rain cloud comes, this storm comes, and the rain begins to fall. And it's incredible. The story is incredible. It's all there in 1 Kings chapter 18. It's so amazing. But then what happens is Elijah gets the victory. The rain comes. He's defeated the prophets of Baal. Everything is going his way. And the Bible actually at the very end of 1 Kings chapter 18 shows us Elijah out in front of Ahab's chariot, who is now the loser, and it's like he just won the battle royale, and he is out there doing, well, hey, let's do this. What is your favorite Fortnite dance? If you play Fortnite, if you don't play Fortnite, what's your favorite dance in the whole world? What's your favorite dance? What's your favorite Fortnite dance right now? Put in the chat. Okay. I think this might be Pastor Alex's favorite. Orange Justice. And I think when he comes back, y'all need to get him to do a little Orange Justice for you. So let's just pretend it was Orange Justice. And so Elijah gets out in front of the chariot of the loser, Ahab, and starts doing a Fortnite, I just won the Battle Royale dance. It's a celebration of the victory that he just had. But then here's what I wanted to show you about this story, because that's all the good stuff. And man, we've had some victories in our lives. You've had some great days. You were expecting going into 6th or 7th or 8th or 9th or 10th or 11th or 12th grade to this just to be a victory year. You couldn't wait to get into middle school. You couldn't wait to get into high school. You couldn't wait for your senior year. And all of this victory is coming into Elijah, and he's having this victory. But then just a few verses later, Ahab, the king, in 1 Kings chapter 19, he goes and he tells Jezebel, his wife, who is, by the way, the first real Karen. I mean, she is incredibly complaining and wicked and amazingly hard to get along with. And he goes and he tells Jezebel, and here's what Jezebel says. Jezebel says in 1 Kings chapter 19, we're finally getting to the actual payoff of where we want to go today, verse 3, verse 1, that she says, I will go and I will chase you down, Elijah, and I will make a mockery of you, Elijah. She says, when Ahab got home, he told Jezebel everything Elijah had done, including the way he had killed all the prophets of Baal. So Jezebel sent this message to Elijah. May the God strike me and even kill me if by this time tomorrow I have not killed you, just as you have killed them. She says, I am coming after you, Elijah. And so Elijah, who's dancing in front of the king's chariot, Elijah, who called down the fire from God and saw it lap up and lick up all the water around. Elijah, who prayed for a rain to come, and it came. I mean, you talk about power. You talk about victory. Elijah had it. And yet, right here, 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 3, what is Elijah's default? In the midst of this declaration from Jezebel, declaring, I will kill you, no matter all the things God has shown himself to be true in. She says, I will kill you. What is his default? Look at what happens. 1 Kings 19:3. Elijah was afraid and ran for his life. And so what we see now is that Elijah, he then runs, the Bible tells us, into the wilderness. The wilderness, which I think is where a lot of you run when you're afraid. And I'm not talking about the woods behind your house. I'm not talking about the actual wilderness. Now, Elijah did do that. But I'm talking about right now, what is your wilderness? What is the place that you go to on the internet that you know is not best? The wilderness. Who's the friend that you run back to that you know is a dry place for you? They don't bring life to you, but you run back to them. You go, they give me what I need during this time. Who's the relationship, boyfriend or girlfriend, that you know is destructive to your soul and to your life, and you have no business with them, but you run back to them because he makes you feel good. He tells you that you're safe. The wilderness, though it is a dry place for Elijah, though it has never proven to be a place anywhere in the Bible where it brings forth life, the wilderness is a place that's safe and secure. And at least you know what you're getting in the wilderness. And Jezebel's not in the wilderness. And this threat from her is not in the wilderness. And so he runs to the wilderness because he feels, everybody type it right now in your chat, feel. He feels fear. He feels it. I mean, we all know what it's like. You kind of get some news that you think is coming your way and you don't really know. It's when you're waiting on that grade and you know you didn't quite do as best as you could and you don't know what the grade's going to be. It's when you're going out for junior varsity or varsity football and you're waiting to see the list and see if you made the team or not. It's when you're trying to figure out whether she will reject you or not. It's that anticipation, but it's also mixed with this feeling of fear. And when he feels the fear, he runs to seclude and hide himself in the wilderness. And then we see that Elijah, as we continue reading and looking in chapter 19 of 1 Kings chapter 19, and we read through there, we see that it says, then he lay down and he slept under the broom tree. So he comes to the wilderness, traveling all day, verse 3 tells us. He sat down under this broom tree, and listen to what he does. He prays that he might die. See, he sits in his fear, his feelings of fear, and fear gives birth to the second thing that I see Elijah experiencing that I bet you and I experience as well and have experienced a lot over the last 5 months. And that is discouragement. He sits down and he prays, it says, but what does he pray? He prays, God, would you just take my life? Would you just end it, God? He goes from celebration of his victory to discouragement and despising his life in just like one day. Like earlier in the morning, he's been dancing in front of the chariot, and now all in victory. And now all of a sudden he is in a place of discouragement. All in one day. All in one day. But I was thinking about me and I was thinking about you. Can't that happen to us as well? We go from victories, having such a great day, to discouragement all in one text. One text. Man, everything was going good until they said that. Just one Instagram post that didn't get liked, or one comment that didn't sit right. We can go from victory to discouragement in one conversation with a friend. Just went the wrong way. They said the wrong things. They didn't say what we needed them to say. We go from victory to discouragement with one fight with our mom or our dad. Didn't even mean it to be a fight, just was expressing some things, and maybe you didn't express them quite the way you meant to, but all of a sudden it turned into this circular fight that always happens, and you found yourself sitting in your room maybe going, man, how did it go that way? How did I go from feeling great to feeling so lonely? From feeling great to feeling so anxious. From feeling faithful to feeling so much fear. Just one bad thought sometimes, isn't it? One bad thought. Isn't that crazy? It doesn't even have to be an external person. Just one bad thought can take your day all the way somewhere you never wanted it to be. Can take you to a place you didn't want to be. But I want to show you something in this story. It's something I left out just for Freedom Youth. So I didn't preach it this past weekend because this was just for Freedom Youth. And I want to show you something about this story that I believe has the opportunity, if you will seize the opportunity, to change our lives. So God, we talked about this past weekend, and we'll recap it here. He takes Elijah on this journey. He gets him some sleep. He says, hey, bro, sometimes what you need is sleep. Hey, sometimes when you're fighting with your parents, by the way, what you need still, just like when you were like 4, is a nap. How many can attest to naps are good? Just naps are great, and sometimes you need a nap. And guess what? Sometimes, you know what? Mom needs a nap. So sometimes that's what's going on too. And so God takes Elijah on a journey, and he sets him up. He gives him some sleep. He feeds him. He wakes him up. He speaks to him. He gives him some more food. He gets him some more rest, and he gets him ready for this amazing journey that he has for him. And because he wants to point out this truth to him. And the truth that he points out to him, it was the whole sermon this weekend, which is that you are not alone. All right? You're not alone. You're not alone. We are a family, and you are not alone. So he does that. But then he even asked Elijah, hey, why are you here? Why are you in this place again? It's kind of like when God came out and talked to Adam and Eve, and he's like, hey, where are you guys? When they had sinned, he says, where are you guys? It's back in Genesis, first book of the Bible. And he's like, man, I want to be with you. He says to Elijah, why are you here? Why are you in this place? Why are you in the wilderness? Why are you hiding? And God listens to him. Elijah tells him why. He says, man, I feel alone. I feel like I'm the only one. I feel like nobody's behind me. I feel like nobody's with me. And God tells him, you're not alone. Got you covered. But then I want to show you something. That God listens. But what he never does is he never speaks to his fear. Because fear is actually something that God can use. And here's what we got to see. Fear is actually the reverse negative. You got that Instagram app, you got that Snapchat app, you got that app on your phone, you got that, be able to filter, to be able to reverse negative. It's the reverse negative. Fear is just the reverse negative of faith. That feeling of fear that we have can be the fuel that actually takes us to a place of faith. Because what is faith? Faith is the substance, Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1 tells us. It's the substance of things that are hoped for. Things that you hope for. I hope this will happen. I hope that will. Faith is actually that coming to pass. It's the substance. It's what the result of those things that you hope for in your life are. It is the ability to go, man, this is how I believe God would want it to be in my life. That is the things hoped for. Well, faith is the substance, the payoff of that. Why do you hope things will return to normal right now? Have you hoped that? Man, I just wish I could go somewhere. I just wish I could go watch somebody play sports live. Like, I just wish I could do that, right? You just hope it would go back to normal. I wish I didn't have to walk into my favorite restaurant with a mask. I just wish it would go back to normal. Why do we hope that things will go back to normal? Why? Because we fear that they won't. There's a fear inside of us that stirs inside of us that allows us to have hope, because it's the fear of them not going back to normal that actually gives birth to the hope that they will. It's the hope. Why do you hope for a friend who will be there for you? Why are you like, man, I hope I have. Pastor Shawn talked about a Jonathan a couple of weekends ago. I hope I have a real Jonathan in my life one day. Someone who will be there for me. Why? Because you fear you never will. It's a fear that says, I don't know if I ever will have that kind of friend. And it was Elijah's fear that actually drives him to his greatest faith. All throughout the Bible, there is this phrase that is used 365 times in the Bible, actually, and the phrase is, do not be afraid. Fear not. Do not be afraid. And Elijah's fear was something that he had to wrestle with. Elijah's fear was something that God could use. God fed him, God gave him some sleep, and then God said, all right, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go in reverse. I want you to go, God tells Elijah, back the way you came. Fear is just the reverse negative of hope. He says, I want to take you back along the way that you came. I want to reverse your thoughts. I want to take the thoughts that have taken you to this dark place, and on the other side of the reverse negative of them is a place of light that I have for you. And so he takes Elijah along this route, and he shows him, I got 7,000 people who are ready to fight for you, Elijah. You're not alone. He shows him, I've got a king over here and a king over here, and then I've got a prophet to take your place. His name is Elisha, and he's going to do twice as much as you, and you're going to hand this off to him. I've got people for you. I've got family for you. I've got everything you need. You just need to reverse it. And so he says, I want you to take your fear. It's a real feeling. Fear not. Do not be in fear. Do not be afraid, the Bible says. I want you to realize, Freedom Youth, I want you to realize, he says to Elijah, I want you to realize the feeling of your fear. It's okay to feel fear. I just don't want you to be afraid. I want you to not be. It's okay to feel like you're afraid. I just don't want you to actually live in that. It's okay. And I would say it this way. Just because you feel afraid doesn't mean that you have to live afraid. Just because you feel like it may hurt doesn't mean you can't stop it, reverse it, capture the thought and go, wait a minute, I'm going to let that bubble up in hope inside of me. I fear I'll never have a relationship with my parents like I want to. Many of you asked the question last week at Freedom Youth rather. You asked the question like, what do we do when my parents don't understand me? I fear that my parents just won't want to understand me. So I sit in a dark place, and God says, let that fear be reversed and walk back the way you came. Walk it back and go and have a relationship. Create what you want. Make what you want. Be what you want to be. You want to have a great relationship with your parents? Be a great son. Be a great daughter. You want to have a great friend? Be a Jonathan. Remember, we said everybody wants to be a David. Nobody ever wants to be a Jonathan. So you sit underneath the broom brush and you go, oh, I don't have a Jonathan in my life. I just don't have the friend that I need. No, stop it and reverse it and then say, hey, wait a minute. This is the hope I have. I'm going to go be Jonathan for somebody else. I'm going to go be a friend for somebody else. Oh, I hope it goes back to normal one day. I hope it goes back to normal. What if it doesn't need to go back to normal? What if there's a new normal that God wants for us because he's trying to show us that we can stop it, reverse it, and go, I want hope. I want faith. I want something new in my life. And so what if, like Elijah, we could learn, Freedom Youth, right now, that God has something so much bigger for us. And when we find ourselves in a place of discouragement, that it's okay not to be, it's okay. Just because you have fear doesn't mean that fear has you. Just because you feel discouragement doesn't mean you need to live a life of being discouraged. Take the feeling, tells us Paul does. He says, capture the thought and then reverse it. Hope is the lightened, not the reverse, but the lightened side of fear. And what God said to Elijah is he said, hey, your default right now is going to fear. Your default right now is going to discouragement. I wonder if you found yourself there. You just immediately go, oh man, it's never going to get any better. It's never going to be different. Oh man, I'm never going to have that type of friend. I'm never going to have that kind of faith. I'm never going to be able to make it like I want to and be who I want to be. I'm never going to, I don't do well with this whole environment that we're in right now. It's just never going to get better. The default, anxiety, the default, fear. And what he says to Elijah is what I want to say to you tonight, Freedom Youth. I want it to be a faith building, and I want it to be faith destiny. How about we put it like that? I want you to have faith that Elijah would say, I want you to have faith and a destiny rather than fear and discouragement. And he's saying to Elijah, I have a destiny for you. Can I tell you that? God has a destiny for you. And it is not to sit in your discouragement and think about what you don't have. It is to reverse it, see the hope that God has, something for you, the faith to walk toward what he has for you, because what he has for you is a destiny. In fact, why don't you write that right now in the chat? Just put, I have a destiny. It's a declaration I want you to make over your life. If you were with me right now, I'd have you say it out loud. I have a destiny. And what I want you to realize is that every time something comes into your life, cloaked in anxiousness, fear, whatever it may be, it is something that is coming into your life that is designed to reroute you into the wilderness so that you'll miss your destiny. To reroute you through a sin, to reroute you because of a relationship, to reroute you because Satan steals, kills, and destroys everything that you are and that God has created you to be. So when you find yourself in fear and discouragement, go, wait a minute, I'm going to use that same fuel, the fuel of fear, can be used to propel you forward through the engine of faith into the destiny that God has for you. That's what I want for you, Freedom Youth. That's what I want for my kids. That's what I want for those of you who are joining right now. I want you to realize the destiny that God has for you, and that he has something that is so much more special for you than you could ever hope for or imagine. We're going to worship again right now, and I want you right there in your home to do something for me. I want you to try to connect with God during this moment. I know it's difficult. Brothers and sisters are running all over the place. Maybe you've been able to hide away in your room, maybe not. Maybe you're joining us even after the fact so that you can. But whatever you need to do, kind of get alone just for a minute. And I just want you to take this song, and I want you in this moment to find out, where are you? And ask yourself, is God asking me why I am where I'm at? Would God say, hey, why are you in this place? Why are you in this mental space? Why are you here? Why are you in this sin? Why are you in this relationship? Why are you here? And then I want you to figure out, what does it take to go back the way you came? That's what God said to Elijah. Hey, I want you to go back the way you came. Because where I had you was a position that was going to get you to your destiny. And I want you to take a moment during our worship just to allow God to speak to you. Can I pray for you? God, thank you so much for these amazing 6th through 12th graders and all of our incredible Freedom Youth Dream Team members who are joining right now. I pray that you would sustain us through your word, that you would give us the faith to be able to make it through the fear, that you would give us a picture of our destiny that will squash all of the discouragement. And God, I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for those who are joining. I'm thankful for the worship that we get to have now and this moment with you. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, we're just going to take this time and sing these words. We really love this song, so let's just sing it like we mean it.
I've been strong and I've been broken within a moment. I've been faithful and I've been reckless at every bend. I've held everything together and I watched it shatter. I've stood tall and I have crumbled in the same breath. I've wrestled and I have trembled towards surrender. With my heart adrift and drifted home again. Plundered blessing till I've been desperate to find redemption. Every time I turn around, Lord, you're still there. I was found before I was lost. I was yours before I was not. Grace to spare for all my mistakes. That part just breaks me. And I know I don't deserve this kind of love. Somehow this kind of love is who you are. It's a grace I could never add up to be somebody you still want. Somehow you love me as you find me. Who am I to think your glory deserves my praises? Borrowed breath is lost, Lord, take it all. You are faithful and you are gracious, and I'm just grateful to think you need one single thing till you want my heart. I was found before I was lost. I was yours before I was not. You wear my scars for all my mistakes, and that part just breaks me. And I know I don't deserve this kind of love. Somehow this kind of love is who you are. It's a grace I could never add up to be somebody you still want. Somehow you love me as you find me.
We're going to repeat God accepts us as we are. He accepts us any way we come, no matter what we do, no matter what we say. Our God always loves us. He's always faithful. He says he'll never leave us and he'll never forsake us. So we're going to sing this next part, Your Love's Too Good to Leave Me Here. We're going to just declare it at home, everywhere. Come on. Your love's too good to leave me here. You love me as you find me. Oh, you love me as you find me. Oh, you love me as you find me. If you want my heart, I won't second guess, 'cause I need your love more than anything. I'm yours. Your love's too good to leave me here. Oh, your love's too good to leave me. If you want my heart, I won't second guess, 'cause I need your love more than anything. And I'm in, oh I'm yours, 'cause your love's too good to leave me here. Oh, your love's too good to leave me. If you want my heart, I won't second guess, 'cause I need your love more than anything. And I'm in, I'm yours. Your love's too good to leave me here. Oh, your love's too good to leave me. No, I don't deserve this kind of love. Somehow, this kind of love is who you are. It's a grace I could never add up to be somebody you still want. Somehow, you love me as you find me. All right, Freedom Youth, this was such a great night. We just want to give a shout out to Pastor Shawn. We're going to give honor to Pastor Alex. Put some claps and praise hands in the chat. It's just such a great time. And Morgan has something great to tell you.
Thank you guys so much for joining. We'll see y'all next week.
See you next week in September 9th.